Download the My Hingham app today and report issues and get information on town government with ease. Available on the App Store and Google Play. You can submit service requests or gain information with just a few taps on your phone. Using the My Hingham app puts immediate access to town resources in the palm of your hand, including calendars of meetings and events, agendas for upcoming meetings, building permit filing options, online bill payment options, and info about our boards, committees, departments, and services. For more information, please scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, good evening. It is 6 o'clock on January 20, 2026. Meeting of the Hingham Select Board is called to order. Going to note that this meeting is being held in person and or remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Act of 2025 and all other applicable laws temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. Is anyone recording this meeting tonight? Seeing none. I note that participating in tonight's meeting are board members Liz Klein and Julie Straley and myself, William Ramsey, Chair. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. For those willing and able, please turn and face the flag of our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes to review tonight. Liz, you ready to proceed?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Okay, with that, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes dated January 6, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. The motion carries unanimously. I'll take a second motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes dated January 8th, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries unanimously, and I'll take a final motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes dated January 13th, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Next item on the agenda are departmental budget requests for FY '27. We're going to take these out of order tonight, if there's no objection from my colleagues.
That's fine.
All right, we're going to start with Veteran Services, GAR Hall. Shannon, come on up and just, if you can introduce yourself to those in the audience and present your budget.
Hi, I'm Shannon Burke. I'm the Director of Veteran Services. The Veteran Services budget is level funded. The only thing that's going up is salary, and that is due to step increases and COLA increases. So we were able to keep that level funded.
Excellent. Well, why don't you tell a little about the mission and everything, so people, I've kind of given people an opportunity to learn a little bit about your department. Well, obviously, we know a lot about it, but people at home might want to learn a little bit about what you do and
Yes.
how well you do it.
All right, absolutely. So our job is to advocate for the veterans of the Hingham community through many different programs that the state offers, and we also help with getting federal benefits if we can. So anything that we need to do to help our veterans, we also plan all of the ceremonies that go on. Currently, we have helped our veterans to a point where they are bringing in, through us working with them and getting them VA funding, where a lot of our veterans are receiving over $5 million a year in total to be able to bring back into the Hingham community by the work that we do in managing that. So that's wonderful. We also do Chapter 115, which is a program for our most needy veterans and their spouses and family members, and we help them out financially with housing, fuel, and medical reimbursements.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
And can you slide down to the the ask here? Okay, all right. Great. And you said the only increase was in COLAs and the salary step
Yep.
increase, is that correct?
Correct. All of our other items, we've always been able to keep it within those numbers. Even with the cost of things going up, we haven't really had to increase those too much. Besides salary, our biggest is the money that we use for the Chapter 115 benefits. And it's that gets paid back to the town of Hingham at 75% of what we put out. So that we're only really responsible for 25% of what we pay Hingham veterans.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Liz, do you have any questions?
And that 75% reimbursement is reflected here,
Yes.
right? Okay. And I see you combined the medical attention and supplies within the benefits. Is that just
Yes.
easier to track?
It all comes from the same place, and when the state sends their stuff for reimbursement, they do not separate it between medical and the benefits.
Okay.
So it's, I think from an accounting perspective, it's easier if it all stays on the same line.
Okay.
So we made that change for beginning of fiscal 26 last year.
Excellent. Well, thank you for all you do.
Absolutely, thank you.
Julie?
Thank you for you're having a good first year, so thank you. I'm glad to have you here in Hingham, and thank you for all you do to support our veterans. I had a quick question under the benefits. For the FY26 budgeted, you have 73.3 million. No, 73. Is that 73,000?
Thousand.
I'm not reading the dot. Okay. So, but then before the years before that, there was a lower amount. So do you expect more to come in for the reimbursement for budgeted for FY26, or is that number going to change?
So with that budget, that's one of those things that no matter what, we're responsible to pay out Chapter 115 benefits to the veterans that put in for it.
Yep.
So it's easier to have that amount of money that if we get an influx of people, it's one of those budget lines that's very hard to account for because you have people that come on and off so quickly due to death or if we're able to get them federal benefits, we work at getting them federal benefits versus the state benefits because usually it's a better benefit for them, and then it pulls them off of 115. So there are times when I started here, I think we had 11, and now we're down to 7. But that number can easily go up. So it's to have that money there, just to have to pay. And as I said, that gets reimbursed at 75% with whatever we spend out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Do any members of the public have any questions about the Veteran Services budget? All right, let's move to GAR Hall.
Okay. So GAR Hall, I manage the books, but it's also managed by a 3-person board of trustees. It's been around for 135 years. Every town in the Commonwealth had one, and now we're down to 6. And we have one of those 6. So it is definitely a beloved treasure that we need to hold on to as long as we can. It is used for most veteran meetings between the American Legion, VFW. The Boy Scouts use it. The Hingham Militia uses it. They store there. Our 50 Flags campaign, the basement is used to store all that. Mr. Hoffman, that's like his little workspace down there. So it's a great thing. And we also do the Hingham High School sophomore class history day every year. And I already have the schedule filled up for scouting events for crossover, bridge overs, and things like that. So.
Great. Well, it's wonderful that the trustees and also you allow the public in for tours and opportunities for people in the community to come and see it, whether it's the Boy Scouts or the high school. I don't think the high school does History Day event there, which is fantastic. So it really is a treasure, and appreciate all the work that you and the trustees do to maintain it at such a high level. So Julie, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Liz?
No questions. Thank you.
Any members of the public have any questions? All right, seeing none. All right, I know you have another meeting you got to get to, so good luck.
Celebrations?
Oh, so you do celebrations too, that's right. Celebrations, all
3.
right. You get 3, so here you go, celebrations.
All right. So the celebration budget covers the Battle of Grape Island commemoration where they do the reenactment of that, our Veterans Day and our Memorial Day observations that we do. These are pretty, these are wonderful things that we have a way of honoring our veterans and honoring the Hingham history of what Hingham has done for our country and, as the town of being as one of the oldest towns in the nation. So these are some of the things that we do to honor that. So it's pretty, again, level funding, straightforward budget. There's don't need any more than what I have.
Tom, I thought we were looking at trying to increase the celebration budget.
We did that through what you're speaking of, we did that
Yeah.
through our select board office.
Okay, got it. And that's in honor of
At Rev 250.
Rev 250,
programs,
yep,
we did
everything
that.
going on this year. Okay, great, excellent, all right. Any questions for Shannon, Liz,
Questions? Thank
Julie?
you.
No, it's just that it's a small but important budget. So thank you. Those are 3 important events that we have to buy flowers and supplies for. But I'm also especially excited about the Battle of Grape Island because that is a very fun event. I highly recommend people go to that. So anyway, thank you.
Yes. And this year, I think it's going to be even better because it's the Rev 250. So I think they're going to go a little bit bigger and better than they have before. So
Yeah.
it'll be nice.
It even has its own song that's sung every year.
Yes, they do.
Are you going to sing that?
No one wants me to sing anything, to be honest with you. Yes. Okay, thanks a lot, Shannon.
All right, thank you
Great
so
job.
much.
Thanks for all the work you're doing. All
Thank
right.
you.
Next up is Bear Cove Park budget. We have Ray with us. I don't see Claudia. Claudia, you come on up. Yeah. Table. Yeah. Hey, Claudia, how are you?
Evening.
Good to see you, Ray.
So we kept our budget the same as last year, other than the cost of increase for Scott. And that includes all our programs, the dog bags, plowing, mowing, et cetera. We did get a new truck, thankfully. So Scott's not breathing in carbon monoxide anymore. Any questions for us?
How much did the new vehicle cost?
Oh, gosh.
So the total vehicle was 50,000 in that general timeframe.
That was budgeted for last year's.
Last year's.
Yeah.
$23,231 came out of our gifts account as our contribution, and the rest was matched through the town.
It was well needed that
Absolutely.
the truck that Scott was driving around in was
Yeah.
getting pretty tattered there. So yeah.
We were able to put the old bed on the new truck, though, with the power lift and things, so that's good.
Great. Well, thanks for what you do. Scott does a fantastic job over there.
Yes.
He's there almost every day and always caring for the park and just a wonderful, wonderful guy to do that.
Yeah, great
He does
ambassador
a lot in the
for us.
community. That's a big part of it. So thank you. All right. Julie, any questions?
Is this now the time to talk about the capital requests, or is that going to be in a different hearing? I see on this
I think that's a
presentation
different hearing,
another
if I'm
time.
not mistaken.
Okay, great. One quick question about, well, let's see, I noticed in the, if you pull up the detail of the budget, maybe that's not on the slides that's presented, but I had just a quick question about the dog park expenses, and just if you could give us a flavor for what those expenses
The number one
are
thing is the
currently.
bags.
The bags.
Bags, yeah,
Okay,
refilling those.
okay.
The other portion of that has been offered to town clerk because of the permitting that has to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that they have been able to use that source of fund to pay for overtime or anything in terms of the, anything that should come out of it. Every once in a while, we'll get a complaint about dogs. And so we'll ask Scott to start to just mention to people, do you have your permit? Just ask if they have a permit. Next thing you know, there's traffic into town clerk's office for
Yeah.
permits.
And we use it to buy some signs also, temporary signs to tell people, where you have to be leashed, et cetera.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Liz, any questions?
No other questions, thank you.
Okay. Any members of the public have any questions? All right, seeing none. Ray, Claudia, thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. All right, next item on the agenda is the Bathing Beach Trustees budget. We have Ed with us. Before we hear this this budget item, I do want to know for the record that my wife is a trustee of the Bathing Beach. It's an unpaid volunteer position. We do not vote on, she did not get a salary, so we don't vote on any salaries for our volunteers. I did file a proper disclosure with the town's clerk's office, so that is noted for the record.
You mean you're not gonna give me a raise this year?
Ed, I'm happy to give you a raise if I could, believe me, but the budget's tight. All right, Ed, just go, let's present, tell us, why don't you tell a bit about what you do, and we'll start there.
Okay, as you said, I'm one of the 3 trustees of the Baden Beach. Alan Perot, luckily, is down Florida on vacation down there. And I talked to him early tonight to see if he had anything that he wanted to add, and he said no. He said, I have confidence that I can handle it. So, and as you know, we were set up by a trust years ago. I think it was 1933 that the trust came into place. And there's 3 trustees. We have the rec department that's here that manages the lifeguards. I know what it's like because I was lifeguard up in Boston for 7 years. And I swim at the DCR pool in Weymouth all the time, every day almost during the week. So I know the importance of having lifeguards, keeping tabs on what's happening in the area. I'm involved with the L Street Bathhouse up in South Boston, where I was a lifeguard. And unfortunately, there was a drowning there of a 7-year-old boy. The counselor wasn't paying attention. The boy went off on his own and unfortunately drowned. So I'm very cognizant of what the responsibility is and the importance. Our budget, the wages make up 73.5% of the budget. The expenses only make up 21.50%, which is only 2.3% of the budget, total budget. Lifeguards, we try to have 4 on duty all the time. It's an important responsibility. With the swim lines, you see a lot of swimmers down by the boat ramp, which you don't want. Boats and swimmers don't mix too well. And so they keep an eye on no swimmers down there so nobody gets injured. On RM grounds, we have 6,000. That's for the geese management. Anybody that's down there knows the problems with the geese and with the geese droppings. And the DPW sprays that area a couple times a year. And we really have got to be there every day. Some years ago, we were talking about having a dog down there and having the dog chase the geese away, which is fine just as long as the dog's there. But once the dog is gone, they're back. And they go down to the area that the water builds up, the fresh water, and drink the water there. So that attracts them. And DPW has done a good job cutting that area so the water goes into the swale area, which is the crust stone area, if anybody knows what I'm talking about down there. The utilities is only $500, which is in the old bathhouse. That's not the new bathhouse. Greg Gacera pays for all the utilities in the new bathhouse with the snack shop that's down there. The $500 for a retrofit is just for the old bathhouse, not for the new bathhouse. Water is $300. That's for the outdoor shower, which is at the edge of where the gazebo is. That's well used. That was a well used, good investment that we made, because if we didn't have that shower, a lot of that sand would be traced into the men's room and the ladies' room in the new bathhouse. And that's very helpful down there. Consumer supplies, $800. That's for sunscreen for the lifeguards and other items, supplies that we need down there to keep the area clean. The uniform allowance is $1,200. That's for the bathing suits, sweatshirts, T-shirts, and hats for lifeguards. I know very important to have a hat on because I've had a lot of sunburn on my head through the years, so it's very important. So the total expenses is 8,800. Total budget for the bathing beach is 40,938, which I think is a bargain. I hope you feel the same.
I certainly do feel the same, so thank you. Does he have any questions?
No questions, but thank you for all you do. This isn't the year for it, but I would love to increase this budget and enhance the bathing beaches.
Well, I'm certain we can have some capital projects in the future. One thing I feel to mention too is I call them the snow fences there, and JR at the DPW is going to be repairing those, just so you know, probably in around March time. And we do have the students from the high school on the community service day go down there, and they clean up from the bathing beach. They go down, way down to the circle. So they do a good job too.
Great.
And the geese issue was better this year, wasn't it? I know that there's a newer member of the Harbor Development Committee who was down there helping out. I think he brought his dog down there a little bit, and they put some rocks around there. So it was an improvement this past year. Is that correct?
No.
Not really. All right.
I don't
Keep
wanna-
working on it.
I don't want to go on the record as saying yes on that one.
All right, we'll keep working at it.
We do have the dogs down there from Patriot Geese, and they are running around. But to Ed's point, once the dogs are gone, the geese are back.
Yeah.
It's one of the few remediations that we have available to us. But
In the summertime, we don't allow dogs on the beach, just so you know.
Yep.
Just for health reasons.
Sure. Great. Julie, any questions?
No, I just thank you for taking us through the budget, and thank you for working so well with other town departments to get what you need for the bathing beach.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any members of the public have any questions about this agenda item? Oh, Diane, go ahead. Name and address, please.
Hi, Bill. Thank you. Diane DiNapoli, 16 Gardner Street. I just wanted to ask a question. Last year, I noticed there was there used to be a handicap table down near the snack shack. And I didn't see it last year. The few times I went, I just didn't know if it was in disrepair or if that was something that needed to be replaced, because I did notice there were some funds that could possibly be used from another area. So I just wanted to ask what happened to the table.
Ed, do you know the answer?
What was it, handicap, what table?
Yes, there was a handicap picnic table, so it had an extension at the end of the table. It was painted yellow, and someone would have the ability to put a wheelchair underneath it, so they didn't hit their legs. I did see it used. I think it was something the town had for a couple of years, and I just noticed last year it wasn't out. So maybe it just wasn't brought out, or maybe it was in some disrepair. I just thought it was something that, since we had it and then it seemed to be not out last year, I just was curious what happened, and is that something to place out next year?
I know it's not in the old bathhouse, so I really don't know where it wound up.
sure. So I'll look into that, Diane. Thank you for the heads up. It's possible that it got just picked up by the DPW at the end of the year and then inadvertently placed somewhere else in the town. But I'll find out where it went to and get it back down there.
I appreciate that, Tom, because I know the COD is speaking tomorrow, I think, looking for projects to fund. So it may be perfect timing to see if a table's, a possibility.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ed, thanks very much.
Okay.
All the great work you're doing.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Here.
Have a good night.
Next item on the agenda is the athletic field maintenance budget. We have with us Mark Durrell and Vicki Donlin. And before we hear these next two items, this budget and the recreation to budget, I'm also going to note that my wife is an unpaid, non-salary receiving member of the Recreation Commission. So my family is way too involved with this town, between my wife and my brother. All right, Mark and Vicki, introduce yourself and tell us about the field maintenance budget.
I'm Vicki Donlin, Chair of the Recreation Commission.
Mark Thorell, Director of Recreation. The Hingham Rec Department manages the town athletic field turf maintenance program and budget. Our funding request of $289,526 represents a 3% increase due to inflation and cost of living adjustments. Prior to FY '26, the turf maintenance budget was part of the Rec Commission budget, but for FY '27 and beyond, this budget is now a standalone budget. This change makes sense as many of the town fields are under the control of the school department and select board along with the Rec Commission. Hingham Rec permits and schedules all town fields and courts. This consists of 37 fields at 16 locations, 22 tennis courts at 4 locations, and 6 basketball courts at 5 locations. Every permit gets uploaded into our software, so the public does have the opportunity to take a look at the field schedule and see what holes are available. As you can see on the pie graph, the town athletic field turf maintenance budget is comprised of 3 different sources. One source of revenue is from the town tax base, which is $281,000. We collect $100,000 in field user fees, and the school department pays $44,000. So that's a total budget for FY '26 of $425,000. We manage and schedule all the athletic field applications, irrigation repairs, utilities, slice seeding, top dressing, aerating, and field renovations. The work of our in-house field maintenance staff has been universally praised. Our hardworking and dedicated crew of 5 staff members are in charge of the daily infield grooming of the town's 17 infields. Their dedication and passion for working on infields is evident in the quality of their work. Just like to note, it's been a pleasure working with the high school athletic director, Jim Quattromoni, and the head of schools maintenance, Matt Meehan, making sure that all the schools' needs have been met. It's a total team effort, and working with them has been seamless and made the entire program work. Taking a look at a picture of Haley and Lynchfield, you can see the beautifully manicured, groomed infields. You can also see how the baseline edges have been freshly cut and maintained. The next picture is a picture of the Hingham Middle School. This picture illustrates how healthy and vibrant the turf grass is. On the next picture, here's a picture of the healthy grass at the high school. We received a lot of positive feedback from the high school AD, who I believe has many happy coaches due to the improved quality of the turf. The next slide just represents a 3% increase budget request. Slides 8 and 9, those graphs just represent the percentage amount between payroll versus expenses within the town turf maintenance budget. And then the final slide provides the numerical breakdown for the town funding request, which consists of $79,236 for personnel services and $210,290 for expenses. Town turf maintenance budget has dramatically improved the overall condition of the town fields and infields. The improvement in field conditions has been very well received among the sports community, and we're looking forward to continue this work into the future.
Great. Well, this has been a extremely successful program, Mark, and you've done a great job not only managing the maintenance of the field, but also scheduling as well. And I agree with you. I think Jim Quattromoni at the high school has done a fantastic job and has been a great partner. And pooling the money from the 3 different sources has really been, made this a fantastic program. So thanks for all the great work you've done. I get great feedback on this.
Thank you.
Especially in like July, August, when we get that crazy heat and those fields are still going strong. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Liz, any questions?
No questions about the budget, but yes, I think this program has been very successful and people are noticing, so thank you.
Thank you.
Julie?
No questions about the budget. I just wanted to just double check you're taking the lead on the athletic field, the recreation. That came out of the athletic field study from about 6 years ago, right?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
Great. No other questions?
Still, can I jump in?
Yeah, sure.
We do a lot of programs in town, as you all know. This program is easily one of the most successful in town. It's in most part because of Mark Thurell's leadership. Easily the most successful thing we've done in the town in a long time. And the field's beautiful. We get nothing but positive feedback. And great job, Mark.
Thank you.
Any members of the public have any questions or comments about this agenda item? All right, let's move to the recreation budget.
All right. Our operating budget is 100% funded by the programs we offer. This includes funding of full-time, 5 full-time staff members, 130 seasonal staff, and all departmental expenses. The demand for recreational program in the Hingham community has been nothing short of amazing. For FY25, we offered over 350 programs, which produced 12,000 registrations. This demand has enabled us to be financially self-sufficient. Taking a look at children's programs, in FY25, we offered more than 250 children's programs, producing about $750,000 in revenue, and our typical program class costs between $15 and $23 per class. Hingham Rec offers after-school program at both Foster and East Elementary schools. This after-school programming has been wildly successful as parents love the convenience of enrolling their children into programming right at their end of the child's school day. The only reason why we're not at the other 2 elementary schools is because I believe after-school programming may be managed by the PTO. So we're happy to be there or anywhere where the schools need us. Our summer camps offer small counselor-to-child ratios, field trips, theme days, entertainers, arts and crafts, sports, and a variety of games and activities. We provide all these amenities at a cost that breaks down to $9 to $15 per hour. Even at those affordable hourly rates, we gross approximately $1.5 million in camp revenue. Taking a look at adult programs, we offer 7 days a week commercial-grade fitness room at the Hingham Rec Center in the basement of Town Hall. We consider the fitness room open rec for adults, and therefore it's offered free to any adult Hingham resident. The fitness room has treadmills, ellipticals, stationary bikes, free weights, and a variety of strength training machines. Other adult programs include spinning, yoga, funky feet dance, tennis, golf, pickleball, harbor hoops, dance fitness, and cardio dance. All of these classes account for about 18 adult programs per week. Taking a look at the road race, we consider the July 4th road race as our big fundraiser of the year. The July 4th road race provides the Rec Commission the ability to have a capital account and reinvest into fields, programs, and equipment. We are also able to establish a summer program scholarship fund, which provides the opportunity for over Hingham residents to attend summer camp who may otherwise not be able to do so. Taking a look at the organizational chart, Mike Bernard and Jackie Mew are the Rec Department's 2 program managers. Their dedication and passion for programming sets the tone for the whole department. Their work ethic is second to none, and we are lucky to have them on our team. Carrie Kelly is the Rec Administrative Assistant. She has been an incredible asset to the team, and she does a phenomenal job of keeping the wheels turning by processing the department's invoices, payroll, and deposits. We hire about 130 staff members who are the backbone to our summer camps. The counselors have the toughest, most demanding job in the department. We have high expectations, and they always amaze me with their ability to step up every summer and supervise Hingham's children in a safe and fun manner. Benchmarks and metrics, taking a look at the circular graph. We pride ourselves on running an efficient department that does not rely on the town to pay for recreation programs, expenses, and salaries. Our revolving fund and road race gift fund operations equate to $2.4 million. This enables us to pay for our 5 full-time staff members. The next graph, the main goal of this graph is to provide an illustration of just how efficient the rec department is. Out of the 19 comparable towns to Hingham, Concord and Hingham were the only 2 rec departments that truly operated at no cost to the taxpayer. We highlight this point as a source of pride that we try to run efficiently as possible. What this graph does not show is that the exception of Concord and Lexington, Hingham Rec also generates more revenue than the 17 other comparable towns. We are truly blessed with the support of the town, which provides us with a beautiful rec center that's open 7 days per week. We're also incredibly lucky to be in a community where the demand for recreational programming is so strong. Taking a look at completed initiatives, in June of 2025, the New Hingham Community Playground opened to the public. So far, the New Hingham Community Playground has been a smashing success with hundreds of daily visitors, and it's really been a joy to watch. Another key initiative for the Rec Commission is to improve accessibility at town fields. The Rec and the town were awarded a $250,000 grant to install an accessible path around the Cronin Field complex. Taking a look at future projects, the Rec Department is working with town staff and CHA to navigate the pickleball project through the town permitting boards. We're looking forward to getting these pickleball courts built and open to the public. And then we are asking CPC funds to renovate the existing basketball court and the pavilion and to stabilize the pavilion that sits over the basketball court at Plymouth River Elementary School. Slides 11, 12, 13 are all about expenses where we don't have any. So just kind of scrolling to the last slide, which breaks down an operation budget. In our case, it's $0. In summary, it's a privilege to be part of a team that exhibits a passion for the Hingham community and recreation programming. Our foundation and culture is built off of respect for one another, hard work, and a team-first attitude. We enjoy positively impacting the lives of thousands of residents on an annual basis, and we'll continue to support the Hingham community in any way that we can.
I'm going to say one thing. It's hard to follow that, though, I have to say. Not much I can say to follow that, but what is not often said is one of the other great benefits of the rec program is watching kids go to camp and then become junior counselors, and then become counselors, and then become leaders, and then go off and hear about what they do at college and go forward. This is a program that makes leaders, and it's incredible because I've seen them from very young ages just getting there, and it really is terrific. So I always like to add that because it's a benefit that we don't often talk about.
They go on to be selectmen too, actually.
They want to be
Select board members. They also go on to run the rec department. Mark and I worked there. We were both in high school. And Mark, when we worked in high school, we had the camp with about 600 children. I saw your number, 4,500. Amazing. So fantastic job. I mean, the number of programs you're offering at the level, the fact that you've expanded adult programs is very much appreciated. And the capital improvements at the Cronin campus has been really, really wonderful. So great job, Mark, Vicki. Thank you for all the great work the rec department has done and continues to do.
Thank you.
Julie, do you have any questions?
No, I just wanted to thank you, Mark, for your leadership and for your whole team, and then Vicki to the Recreation Commission for your hard work as well. So just really impressed by that graph that shows that Hingham and only one other town are fully supporting their programs without the town budget. It's really incredible all that you do and that you're able to pay for all of it within your own programs. I just wanted to point out and just clarify that the grant that you have, the CPC voted on that's going to go before town meeting, the basketball court at Plymouth River, that's actually owned by the Recreation Commission, that part of the land, correct? That it's not
That is
the school
correct.
department?
Yeah, the parcel of land where the tennis courts sit, the basketball court with the pavilion, and the playground is on Rec Commission land.
And the softball field.
And the softball field.
Softball field.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you.
Liz?
No questions, but thank you for all you do. I always love hearing about the number of programs and the number of students that go through the summer camps. It's really very impressive, so thank you.
Thank you.
Do any members of the public have any questions about the Recreation Department budget? All right, seeing none. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks for the
much.
great work you're doing. Next item on the agenda is the Building Department. We have Mike Clancy with us. Mike, come on up and. You could just introduce yourself, Mike, for those who don't know you and your position in town.
Excuse me?
If you could just introduce yourself
Oh,
for those people who don't know you and your position in town.
Good evening. My name is Michael Clancy. I'm the building commissioner in the town of Hingham. The building department inspectional services falls under the Massachusetts Department of Public Safety. We enforce a series of 14 international and state codes to include the Mass State Building Code for residential commercial, the fire code, existing building code, mechanical code, swimming pool and spa code, energy conservation codes, the Architectural Access Board for Disabilities, Zoning Act, Chapter 40A, zoning bylaw, general bylaw, plumbing and gas code, and the electrical codes. Building officials are on call 24/7, 365. Excuse me. We have 6 full-time employees and 6 part-time employees. For benchmarks, the building department brought in fees last year a total of $2,027,830, which includes building permits, sheet metal, certificate of occupancies, final cost affidavits, certificates of use and occupancies. That total was $1,750,771. Total electrical, plumbing, and gas fees was $277,059. We issued a total of 3,370 permits. Total inspections for building, electrical, sheet metal, plumbing, gas, zoning complaints was $5,581. As far as Linden Ponds continues to renovate existing units, the Hingham Shipyard also continues to renovate existing spaces. We did issue a certificate of use and occupancy for the new public safety building. Several more homes throughout the town have been demolished and rebuilt. When I started here, we used to get one demolition maybe once a month. Last week, we had 4. So it's a significant change that people want to come to Hingham and they want to live in this town. Derby Street shops continue to have new businesses move in and out. As far as the budget, what it reflects in there is just the COLA. It's a level funded budget. As far as the graphs, I did not produce the graphs. That was ClearGov. If we go to the last, as far as salaries and things, they all stayed the same except for full-time salaries, which was the building inspector. That went down 2.8%. Everything else stayed about the same. To the last page. So the total budget would be $416,784, which is a cut of about 9.2%.
Mike, thanks very much. Liz, any questions?
Thank you, Mike, appreciate it. There's a note here that building permits are not included in the building revolving fund.
That's correct. Plumbing, electrical, and gas, that's a separate, which is voted on at town meeting each year. I think it's Article 1
Yes.
this
okay.
year. That's correct.
Okay.
I just gave you the total fees that were collected between all building, electrical, plumbing, and gas.
Okay. And how did the total fees compare to the previous year?
As far as the fees,
Mm-hmm.
the fees are, I believe they're up somewhere around 300,000.
Okay. Thank you.
Julie?
Asking Liz's question a slightly different way, but just comparing this year back to last year, do you feel like the number of building permits are about the same, or do you note any change?
Well, the fees are actually up, but the building total permits were down approximately somewhere around 2.5%.
Okay.
down. But as far as the cost in construction has raised up, so that's why the fees have, continued to rise on that. And that's
Okay.
at $10 per thousand for residential, $15 per thousand for commercial. We do have a large home that's under construction now that was quite a large fee.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any members of the public have any questions about this agenda item? All right, Mike, thanks very much. Great seeing you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Have a good night.
All right, next item on the agenda is the Center for Active Living. We have Jennifer Young with us.
Okay. All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Jennifer Young, the Director for the Center for Active Living, where we support the independence and personal development of Hingham's 60-plus population, advocate for their needs, and enhance the quality of their life. We operate a 5,000-square-foot center providing programs for older adult residents across all abilities and ages, from 60 to 100-plus, while connecting seniors and caregivers to services that benefit and support independent living. Organizational structure. We report directly to the town administration and work alongside the Council on Aging Advisory Board with 4 full-time and 4 part-time staff. Thank you, Art. Our FY25 impact, we served 1,226 seniors with 302 new members. We delivered 1,476 rides to 152 seniors, providing center access, shopping, day trips, and 635 essential errands. We worked with 89 volunteers who contributed 5,160 hours of service, which is the equivalent to 3.08 full-time employees, which is a value to the town of Hingham of approximately $235,000. Go to the next slide. Thank you. We offered 173 unique programs. We delivered 2,293 total events, and we did show growth across all categories except for the unique number of programs that we can offer due to space constraints. Under our achievements for fiscal year 25, we enhanced our brand ambassador program to increase community awareness about the center and its impact. We expanded our digital literacy through intergenerational tech support, social media training, and AI education classes. We partnered with South Shore Community Action Council for weekly food pantry bags for seniors in need, and we collaborated with 47 agencies and businesses to deliver programs, services, and support. So our key initiatives are to increase engagement with the broader Hingham community, ages 50 to 60 and 60 plus, through enhanced marketing, outreach, and partnerships, to expand transportation access and provide targeted services when needed, broaden program variety and capacity to increase participation, enhance food services to encourage attendance and extended visits, and to acquire larger facility to increase accessibility, membership, and programming for healthy, active living. Yep, so we can go down to the budget spreadsheet. Thank you, Art. Personal services, we're requesting $429,490, which is a 5.3 increase. That 5.3% increase. That supports 4 full-time and 3 part-time employees. The increase reflects contractual step increases, and we do have a part-time transportation coordinator that's fully supported by a formula grant at 28 hours a week. Our operational expenses is 0% change. The majority of those expenses are for transportation at $11,525, and the remaining operational expenses are $10,785. We do have one additional request. which is for a part-time nutrition coordinator at 25 hours a week. This is the 4th year I've been asking for this position at a cost of $38,104 to oversee existing food services and develop future programs, including a public cafe, manage planning, ordering, delivery, inventory, and all of the fun stuff that goes along with running a kitchen. The majority of our members eat almost every meal alone, and senior-centered food service models have evolved from congregate meals to flexible, healthier cafe designs. On-demand service allows guests to eat when it's convenient for them and to enjoy companionship instead of having to leave to eat somewhere else. Situate, Cohasset, Duxbury, Marshfield, Plymouth, and Hull have all established supported cafe programs. And the reality, we're fortunate enough that Massachusetts has one of the highest life expectancies in the United States, which is around 82 years for women and 77 for men. Sorry, guys. With the average retirement at 67, a single or widowed woman faces 15 years preparing anywhere from 11,000 to 16,500 meals on their own. So that's a lot of prepping, cooking, cleaning. Generally, that results in poor nutrition habits and increased isolation. So, that's it in a nutshell. You guys know I could talk for hours, so just trying to be concise.
All right, Jennifer, thanks for all the great work you're doing. Appreciate your enthusiasm and the hard work for the Center for Active Living. Liz, you have any questions?
Yes, thank you so much. It's always impressive to see how many programs you are able to execute in this space, so appreciate
you.
that. You mentioned increasing transportation. Is that reflected here, or is that through a grant?
So our transportation services right now are mostly staffed through volunteers. So we have 2 part-time paid hourly medical drivers, which is funded through the town. That's on our medical driver salary costs. But we also have a roster of anywhere from 8 to 12 volunteers that provide shuttle services, taking people around town, out on day trips to the center, library, shopping, and so on. We also have a grant partnership with South Shore Elder Services and South Shore Community Action Council, which partially funds transportation for medical appointments in Boston and the surrounding areas.
Excellent, thank you.
Julie, any questions?
So Jennifer, last week when we talked about the Center for Active Living building project, I omitted the first thank you I should have given to you for your hard work for many, many months and years working on making the plans for this proposed project. So I just wanted to say thank you. And sorry, I forgot to thank you last week. I thought about it later and I was like, oh.
I appreciate that. I didn't even notice.
I know. Well, anyway. So a quick question about the additional request, about the part-time nutrition coordinator. So right now, what are the existing food services programs that you have now and are able to deliver given the size of the kitchen and the current center?
Right. So right now, our current, meal program is twice a week. We offer a congregate meal, which is provided by South Shore Elder Services. It's very similar to the Meals on Wheels delivery that would go to a home. So we bring those in on Mondays and Wednesdays. Thursdays, we run a pizza party on Thursdays, so our folks don't have to leave to go home. We order pizza in, and it's self-funded. Any of the other events that we offer, sort of the larger scale events, our special, holiday lunches are generally self-supported. We do have those catered and brought in from other restaurants, so the staff actually bring them to temperature, serve, and we have some volunteers that help out with the congregate meal.
Okay, so no actual preparing of the foods is generally done in the current kitchen.
It's not. We don't have the staff to support it right now.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Do any members of the public have any questions or comments? All right, seeing none. Jennifer, thanks for all the great work you're doing. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the Health Department budget. We have Sue Sardi with us, so Sue, come on up.
Hey there. The Health Department enforces over 20 local and state regulations in the community, from food establishments, beach water testing, communicable disease surveillance, tobacco control, private wells, septic systems, building permit, and soil testing, to name a few. The key initiatives for FY27 will be to continue to enforce food compliance with all our new food establishments that will open this fiscal year. We'll continue to work on health equity and mental health with our regional grant partners of Cohasset and Situate, health imperatives, and our social worker. We're going to continue to revise our supplementary rules and regulations for septic systems. Currently, 65% of the town is on septic. We're more than halfway through the revisions with the Board of Health and expect this to be completed by early FY27. We'll be opening up for public comment soon, and this will be posted on our agenda. For budget changes down the bottom. The social worker budget will come from 5 hours for the health department and 25 hours from the opioid settlement funds. And I asked to increase the admin assistant to 25 hours from 20 hours. That position was cut last year. It was a 35-hour week position. And the only other thing under expenses is our water testing. It might be down a little bit. The cost of beach testing for all the 7 beaches in Hingham have increased. The lab is charging more to test that. We test from 4th of July to Labor Day, and that includes the bathing beach and the beaches that are permitted with associations in Hingham. That's it.
How often do you do the tests? Is it once a week?
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you. Thanks for all the great work you're doing, Sue.
Thank you.
Liz, do you have any questions?
Thank you for everything you're doing. You mentioned that food inspection being kind of a key initiative. Is that because there's more restaurants or something else happening?
No, there's more restaurants. It requires more inspections. The state mandates us that we inspect food establishments twice a year. That doesn't include re-inspections.
Okay.
So with the more number of people eating in our restaurants, the more number of inspections, and we get complaints and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Julie, any questions?
Yeah, so the food inspections, is that a fee that the restaurant pays for you to come in to do that inspection, or it's just part of what you do and you just go in and,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then a quick question, or actually just a comment really, that it's nice that you are able to put opioid settlement funds towards the social worker position. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
It overlaps, so which is really nice.
Yeah.
And that we'll talk about it another time, but that's going great.
Good.
Good.
I have one follow-up question. Last time you and I spoke, you talked about enacting some rodent control measures. Yeah, how did that go?
We're working with all the food establishments in the town of Hingham. We are working with their pest management company, so they're required to have a pest management company as part of their permit. So that's how we work with them. We work directly sometimes with the pest management company to figure out what's going on in the site, and we rely on the residents to call the health department if they have any complaints on any of the food establishments. It really helps us out to know what you guys are seeing. So it helps that residents feel free to call the Board of Health and tell us what they see, and then we're able to go out and make it a safer place to eat.
What about the issue at the transfer station? How did that get resolved?
I would defer to the transfer station on that. I haven't heard anything, which is good.
That is good.
It is really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And I think that we're doing composting and pickup at the residents, like on site at the residents through a grant, Black Earth, I think it's through.
Yeah.
And that's might be alleviating some of our rodent problems at DPW, but I'm gonna defer to them,
Great.
I haven't
I'll
heard
follow
anything.
up with Ashley.
which is good.
Thank you. All right, any questions or comments for Sue? All right, seeing none. All right, thanks, Sue. Good seeing you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Next item on the agenda is the library budget. I see we have Linda Harper-Stone with us. Come on up, Linda.
Thank you. Thanks for having us tonight.
Seeing
And I
you.
have one trustee with me, Monica Melendez, who's here, and I think there's some more online. I think I saw Aileen Cal.
Monica, you're welcome to come up and join Linda if you'd like, or, Totally up to you. I'm good. You're good, okay. All right.
You can sit with me if you want.
You're on your own, Linda. There you
Okay,
go.
here we go. Any questions, I'll just, all right. So thanks for having us tonight. So let me just go over a little bit about the missions and services that we have for those of you who may not be familiar with all that we do, because we do different things for different people. So we have a lot of different services we offer. Among the many things we have, and some of our mission is to provide physical and digital materials to members of the public. We encourage lifelong learning, which includes nurturing personal growth. We encourage early childhood literacy. We make sure to enable people to explore the world through cultural, artistic, historical, informational programs and displays. We provide equal service to all individuals in the community. We provide an open, accessible, and collaborative environment supportive of equity, diversity, and inclusion. We are a community center, so we're a destination where people come to meet from all ages, kids, teens, adults, seniors. You know, we're kind of the one-stop shop in town where we serve everybody. We also offer a very diverse collection, so not only the books, but we have electronic materials, digital databases, we have a library of things, we have games, we have puzzles, we have a bookstore on site, we have art galleries, we have pretty much everything, a nice outdoor courtyard in the nice weather. So we are a lot of things to a lot of people. On the next slide, you can see our organizational chart. For those of you who don't know, the library is actually managed by a library board of trustees. There's 18 members on the board, and they meet to discuss library policy, management of the library, kind of make sure that we stay on track in meeting all our missions and goals. And I have a number of staff, 32 staff who work there, including some high school pages, college aides, and a number of volunteers who we could not do what we do without. So to any of the volunteers who are listening, thank you for all your work that you do. The community involvement in the library is invaluable to our success, as is the staff. Benchmarks and metrics. So on the next page, just to get a sense of how busy we are and all the things we do, I just want to go over some numbers real quick, because I think it's important to see, you know, libraries are more vibrant and more needed than ever. Like the library of, you know, yesterday is not the library of today. So in fiscal '25, we saw strong increases in the usage of the library's physical and digital collections, as well as our programs, spaces, and services. So throughout the year, patrons borrowed a total of 388,237 items. And among those, they include over 213,000 books, almost 7,000 magazines, over 44,000 movies, music, and audiobooks. Those are physical. Then in additional online, over 55,000 ebooks, over 38,000 e-audiobooks, so those are the books on tape. Over 11,000 miscellaneous items. So we include puzzles and games, artwork you can borrow, technology, gadgets, electronic devices. So we loan a lot of things throughout the year to people. Again, it's free of charge. I mean, this is such a great deal for everyone in the community. Some additional benchmarks on the next page. We do a lot. Besides of what we have and loan, we do a lot. So we offer a lot of lifelong education programs and classes and workshops at the library. Last year alone, we had 12,558 people who attended 577 library programs. And on this, I want to mention that the programs are fully funded by the Board of Trustees. So this is not town money. This is money that they get through the annual fundraising drive that you all got a letter in. I'm sure you all contributed to or will. And we put these programs on, and we always get great turnouts. We have music programs. We have story times. We have people come in and offer things. It's just fabulous. Over last fiscal '25, last fiscal year, we had 142,331 people visit the library throughout the year. So those are the people walking through the doors. That's how many visits we have. It's a lot of people coming in to use the spaces and the resources that we have. In Hingham, we have over 10,695 registered borrowers who actively use their library cards. So within the past 3 years, over 10,000 people in a town of 24 have used their library cards. I think that speaks volumes. The patrons who have come in have connected their devices to our wireless internet 142,000 times, and they use the physical computer over 5,000 times. So another service we provide is connectivity. So even if your power's out at home, people will flock to the library if we have power. People have trouble getting on at home, or they just need to do work at home, you know, and they can't work at home because the dog's barking. They come to the library and work. They come to the library to study. They come to the library to call their friends. So there's a lot of ways people connect other people at the library. We also participate in interlibrary loans. So that's when we send books between libraries. If we don't have it, we'll get it for you. We'll find it wherever it is and have it sent here. Last year, we had over 40,000 books and other library items sent through our interlibrary loan delivery to fill patron requests. So that gives you an idea of how busy everyone is. Key initiatives on the next slide. So right now, these key initiatives were outlined in our last strategic plan, which actually were in the last year. In fiscal 26, our last 5-year plan is expiring. We're currently involved with the strategic plan committee on our trustees to engage in a new 5-year plan. So we're just starting the process, which when we send out surveys, we're hoping you all participate. But some of the goals outlined in our current existing 5-year plan include the improvement of physical spaces, the expansion of communication and marketing, growth as a community resource, enhancement of collections, and development of funding sources. I do expect a lot of these same themes to continue going forward, but we will see as we engage in the next few months of strategic planning. And now for the budget. So the total budget requests we have with personnel and expenses is $2,527,284. So what you'll see if you go down, personal services are about 79%, expenses are about 20%, and if we drill down into that, you can see for all the people we have, the salaries, expenses, training, custodians, and then those are all the typical step increases. Overtime, just to note, is not over, it's actually Sunday hours, so it's not like we work over 40 hours so we can get overtime. That's actually our Sunday budget. So those are all pretty standard increases. When you look at the expense side, most of what you see is zero. There's a few times on here that we needed some increases for increased costs. So for instance, in repair and maintenance on buildings and HVAC, you know, the building's getting older, the equipment's aging out, we're finding it's costing more and more to repair things when they break. So that's those increases. Telephone, just the, cost of telephone is a $200 increase, but it shows 11% because it's a small bill. Office supplies, it just costs more to buy things now. Books and periodicals, that 5.3 is just our normal increases to buy books that, are a requirement for state aid. So it's a state number that we have to meet. You'll notice our OCLN network assessment went down this year. Luckily, we were able to revise the assessment, and in doing so, we got credit for all the ebooks that we do loan to other libraries as well. So the ebooks we purchase once our patrons are done are available to other patrons as well. So we got a credit for that, which was the first time we saw a nice reduction in that. I was very pleased about that. So you'll see the total expenses are a 2.8 increase. And I think that's actually the whole total. So I think that's all I have. Do I have any questions?
The request for the chiller, what is that? That's
Yes.
Is it 8,000?
Thank you for asking about that.
That's important.
So as you may know, the building is getting a little bit older. So the chiller went in when we had our last renovation back in 1999, 2000. So it's pretty much at the end of life right now. So we have found just recently that the chiller, as parts are breaking on it, we can't find replacement parts. They don't make them anymore. So we have to find a way to raid them off old machines or have them manufactured. So last year in the capital outlay budget, there was $80,000 that was funded to the library for engineering studies, and that was to see what is it going to cost to replace this chiller system. And the chiller system, for those who don't know, part of the HVAC, it's the air conditioning basically. It's what cools the library in the summer. So we have engaged in preliminary engineering. We have conceptual documents kind of outlining what it would take to remove what we have, replace it. which will be about $1.8 million. I have the exact number here, but about 1.8, which we showed to capital outlay already, and we are planning on perhaps doing a warrant article on it, so we hope you all are in favor of it. But that would involve, I know, so the library stays cool in the summer, because we are a cooling center. So yes, so it is important, because we just can't have a hot library for so many reasons. And it's about time. We think the other one has done its due service, so it's time to upgrade it. So that's the cost of the chiller that we'll be asking for.
Great.
Thank you, Bill, for bringing that up.
You bet. Well, I'm enjoying my year as a liaison from the select board, and just wanted to thank you for your enthusiasm and your advocacy for the library, Linda. You do a wonderful job over there, as do all the trustees, but it's well led, so thank you for all you do.
Thank you very much.
I'm full support of the chiller. I know it's a definite need.
Yeah.
You've been waiting for that for a couple of years now, so you'll have my full support there.
Thank you.
And appreciate the work on the budget. So Julie, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have one quick question about the chiller project. Would that, the new chiller, have any effect on your expenses for HVAC going forward? So it went from 31,000 to 35 budgeted for 27.
Yes, I expect it would, because a lot of that, now, we do have quarterly maintenance. So there's regular costs just for them to come in and do the regular maintenance on it on a quarterly basis. And that's kind of a fixed cost. But I'm seeing these increases because of the repairs when something breaks on it. So I am expecting it to go down. You'll see that was one of the increases, because even if this is funded, we're not going to take it down on July 2nd, because we need it to last another season. So I'm expecting to have some more repair costs in this next fiscal year. The following year, I expect to see that reverse. I don't know yet what the reverses are going to be, but I think in fiscal 27, I'm expecting to still have some maintenance. By fiscal 28, I think we'll see the difference. So, how we decide to fund that, I'm not sure yet. It really probably depends on what we all think, and the engineers say. But running it 1 year with a new system I am fully expecting to see a decrease in that line.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Liz, do you have any
Well,
questions?
thank you, Linda, for all that you do, and you have a tremendous staff.
I
and
do.
group of volunteers, and it shows.
We are lucky.
Yes, very lucky, and it is truly a place where the entire community goes and values. I think it was David McCulloch that said, you can really tell something about a community by how much they love their library, and Hingham loves their library. So we're very proud of that. Thank you for answering the question about the chiller and the salaries. About the Sunday budget, it looks like it's going down a little bit.
Yes, less Sundays. So when you take into like the holidays, like where Easter falls, or Mother's Day, or just the Christmas holidays, I think the last one we were open 43, and this year will be 39. It's just the difference of 3 Sundays we won't be opening.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I would like to mention, though, that we are open. We normally open right after Labor Day, but when we close, we look very closely at the student schedule, so we want to make sure to be there for their finals. So we'll close after their finals, and we try to anticipate potential snow days in there. So that also depends. We look at the school schedule when we're trying to figure out how many Sundays we're going to be open. So that has a little something to do with it.
Okay, yes, it is important for exam time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We're almost done with midterms.
Oh, they were all there today, let me
I
tell
know.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Do any members of the public have any questions about the library budget? All right, seeing none, Linda, thanks so much.
All right,
I'll
thank
see you
you.
tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right.
See you at our meeting tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
see you then. Next item on the agenda is community planning budget. We have Emily Wentworth with us tonight.
Good evening. Emily Wentworth, Community Planning Director. Thank you for hearing our budget. I know you've heard similar presentations over the last few years, so I'm not going to repeat everything, but rather just try to highlight, some of the interesting things that we saw over the past year. You can view on this slide our mission statement. It's basically to integrate land use regulations, long-range planning, and economic development functions so that the town can implement a sustainable growth strategy that better reflects our character. We do that primarily by providing staff support to the planning board, both in their permitting functions, which we include, zoning development as well, and planning functions. So the planning board is charged with adopting the master plan for the community. We help to support those types of efforts as well as others. These two functions are often integrated, just kind of naturally. So I'll give you an example that the planning board, through its role on the South Hingham Development Group and then in development of the master plan, focused quite a bit on growth in South Hingham. And then we recently received a permitting application from one of the significant landowners in that area. So we received a preliminary subdivision application that would develop with roadways and new lots, approximately 100 acres between Old Derby Street and Whiting Street. To give you a sense as to the size of that type of development, it's not far off from the shipyard, which was about 125 acres. So that's kind of exciting when we see those two functions married. In terms of metrics, here's our table. It's our kind of 5-year look back on permitting activity. I will just give you a disclaimer, the 2025 numbers, given when the budget presentations were prepared in November, are a little bit off. It's actually, we've received 11 applications since late November. So we've had 71 overall, but it's more or less in line with what we've seen since 2023, 2024. The peaks in 2021 and 2022 are related to zoning regulations that have been updated since. So we're seeing that now. The vast majority in all of those years relate to single-family home activity, construction activity, some non-residential applications that we did see over the past year. One was a modification of the South Shore Country Club's pool project. We saw a new childcare facility, the Gardner School located at 425 Lincoln Street. Also on Route 3A, just down the road from the Gardner School, Massa, which is a family-owned manufacturing facility for sonar and ultrasonic products. We reviewed an expansion project for them, so they're growing, and that's exciting. There's a new dentist in the downtown and a new smoothie shop at the Lincoln Plaza. So that just gives you a glimpse of the types of applications that the board reviews related to all of those that involve land disturbance, and others. Staff reviews building permit applications and conducts certain inspections of things like erosion controls. You can see on the next slide, in terms of key initiatives, I think the things that I'm most excited about are some of our regional projects. So we have partnered, as you guys are well aware, because Art's taken the lead, with a number of South Shore communities to potentially access MWI water. We also are talking with some of our neighboring communities, specifically Rockland and Abington most recently, about potential shared wastewater solutions. Rockland in September received an $800,000 grant, Housing Works Infrastructure Grant, to explore increasing capacity in the part of town that's right next to South Hingham, so just on the other side of the border. And then I know you've also heard about a potential opportunity with Cohasset and Hull for a micro transit program, and we continue to work on that to look for potential funding for it. So those are the bigger projects that I wanted to highlight, and other than that, the numbers, it's $291,000 approximately overall. That is largely related to salaries. Expenses, as you can see, are a much smaller share of the overall budget. I think I skipped right over who receives salary. In the department, there are 3 positions, myself, Paula, an administrative assistant, and until very recently, Mike Silvera was our senior planner. So while we're devastated that we don't work with him anymore, he's moved on and took another role. We are actively trying to recruit a new senior planner.
Great. Emily, thanks so much.
Sure.
Julie, any questions?
No, just a comment that as a former Community Preservation Committee member, I'm just always delighted to see that the Community Preservation is able to help fund the administrative assistant that helps your department, but it also is a huge help to the Community Preservation Committee. So, yep.
Liz?
Excellent, thank you, Emily, for all you do. So the senior planner salary is reflected here, correct?
It is at the prior step, so there'll be a little bit of fluctuation there, I believe.
Great, thank you.
Any members of the public have any questions about this agenda item? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing Emily.
Thank you,
All right, we're
Emily.
our last budget tonight is land use and development. We have Jen Oren with us this evening. Jen, how you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm Jennifer Orm. I'm Senior Planner and Zoning Administrator in the Land Use Department. I'm going to be like Emily and do high level because it's a similar paperwork that you've seen before, but just touch on some highlights in what the department does. We have 2 staff members, myself and a Land Use Development Coordinator, which is Donna Thompson. Under this envelope of the Land Use and Development, we have 3 key initiatives, which is to support the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Affordable Housing Trust, and the Lincoln School Apartments / their Board of Managers, with several different initiatives that are going on there. With the Board of Appeals, we help them, we take in all the applications, we process them, do everything for the applicants, it's sort of one-stop shopping, get them through the hearing process and then the post-hearing process, and monitor the appeal period. We also work a lot with residents, business owners with their properties who come in with questions. What can I do? I have this. What uses are allowed? What will I need to do? We have a lot of those meetings, which one of my favorite parts, and go over what they can do. We also work with the building department quite a bit and review different building permits, what can be allowed, and sign off on that, and then flag any issues and bring it to the building commissioner. We then also support the Affordable Housing Trust. And over the last few years since I've been here, we work with that trust to preserve as well as create affordable housing. Over the past several years, I came on in 22, but this has been going on for a few years before that as well. The trust has been working to add units to the SHI following the master plan, the housing plan, via partnerships with, say, housing, with Habitat for Humanity. There were 2 units that were done, which we contributed to and helped with on Whiting Street. Preservation of units that we might have lost on the SHI. One was at Ridgewood Crossing and one was at Adams Court. Both had issues that we worked with banks or with the town to renovate those properties and maintain them on the SHI. Then we looked into creation of units, and over the past few years, we have created 4 to 5 units, focusing more on the condo area because of the cost of land and what it costs for us to purchase and then renovate and then sell at a lower price for affordable families. That has been a very exciting process. We have 3, actually 4 in Beals Cove. We've actually purchased our first in Hingham Woods, and we will be starting to renovate that this year. We're closing next week on another unit in Beals Cove and have a qualified buyer that'll be moving into there. We are doing a walkthrough this week. And then we have things in the pipeline. We have a tax title option that possibly the trust will take a part in that, and we still have 499 Cushing Street, which will be 2 units, and our goal is to bring on 1 to 2 units this year, knowing that we have other priorities, which brings us to Lincoln School Apartments, where we have been working a lot with Corcoran Management, the residents, and work with them, and identifying capital needs, which we'll be rolling out some this year. We need a new AC in the community room. We also received a grant from the Massachusetts Office of Disability, and we are working with a architect right now to get that construction going out to bid on that. So we received 100,000 from the state, and we'll match that to update the sitting area, the kitchen, the laundry room to be ADA compliant. And all of this for the affordable housing is to keep an eye on our SHI, the subsidized housing inventory. The margin is tight, so we need to keep looking and seeing what we can do to keep adding to the top because we're adding to the bottom. That's the overview. And then as for the budget, you'll see our expense budget is level funded. It's a small budget. Where you see the bump is in salary, and that was due to a reclassification of the land use and development position, which we did last year. She was also allowed to keep her anniversary date, so that's why you see that percentage to go up. We reclassified it to help it cover all of these projects that we see coming into the department. So that's it in a nutshell.
All right. Jen, great job. Appreciate all the great work you're doing down there. Also appreciate, anytime residents reach out to me with questions and I send them over to you, very much appreciate your responsiveness and following up with them. So thank you for that. Liz, do you have any questions?
No questions about the budget, but you and Donna are a small but mighty team, and we appreciate it. You're doing tremendous work. Thank you.
Very fun.
Julie, any questions?
I'll echo what Liz said. I've really enjoyed working with you and Donna so far this year, and great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Any members of the public have any questions about this budget item? All right, seeing none. All right. Thanks, Jen. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right. The next item on the agenda is to consider a select board sponsored warrant articles for the 2026 annual town meeting. So I just want to explain procedurally where we're at with the votes we're going to take up tonight. So the deadline to submit articles for the warrant is tonight at midnight. So last week we took up a bunch of articles that are select board driven articles. Tonight we're going to have a further discussion on some articles, but I want to emphasize the vote tonight is simply to put it on the warrant. So after tonight's vote, the select board will do a deeper dive on these articles to make a recommendation on them. And then they'll go over to the advisory committee who will also make a recommendation on them. But the reason why we're doing so many tonight is there's only 3 ways that an article can get on a town meeting warrant in Massachusetts. And one way is by a majority vote of the select board. The second way is by a majority vote of a planning board. And the third way is a citizen petition. So any committee elected or appointed that wants an article on the select board, and we received a bunch of these, have to be received by tonight's deadline. And then the select board will obviously review and vote to put it on the warrant or not. So tonight's vote is to put them on the warrant, but obviously we're going to take public comment as we always do, so feel free to participate in the discussion tonight. So let's start with Article I, which is Building Department Revolving Fund.
Sure. Bill, I just had a little bit of a primer on
Yeah, sure.
all of what we're doing, if you don't mind. Art is sharing a
sure, yeah.
spreadsheet. Yep. Art is sharing a spreadsheet now. I just wanted to highlight, so like Bill said, we looked at last week, we added a bunch of perennials as well as the HCAL article. Last week, those are all select board sponsored articles. Tonight is the balance of select board sponsored articles. Some of them are because the select board owns property that they have the right to. Others are just traditionally select board purview. So to that end, several of the articles from last week and tonight spend fund balance as a component of what we're trying to do through that article. So I just wanted to highlight for everybody the anticipated, sitting here today on January 20th, and this, by the way, has changed since like Thursday. So this is a fluid operation. This is the anticipated use of fund balance, excess fund balance for ATM 2026. So I'll just walk through these real quick. The transfer to the reserve fund, this is a combination of the $1.3 million anticipated in last year's warrant for 2026 by the school department for out-of-district expenses, coupled with an unknowable number for now. We've had a kind of a snowy, icy winter so far. We're going to need some money added to the snow and ice budget. I'm anticipating it may be in the ballpark of $500,000. I don't know what that will be. We'll get that number at the end of the winter. So right now, that's a total of a transfer to the reserve fund of about $1.8 million. The school department, as they did last year, will need about $500,000 for extraordinary capital needs. That's to fund items that came up as a result of the problematic roofs that they're dealing with until we can get those roofs replaced. There are real life issues that they have to deal with, leaks and whatnot. So that's to help with that. This next one is a concept to help defray the, frankly, outrageously inflationary costs of healthcare. We had a healthcare task force put together. We walked through a bunch of ideas. We saw a bunch of data, and this is the result of that work. The idea would be to subsidize the employees' healthcare by, to some degree, roughly 10%, I believe, is the concept, which would cost the town about $1.3 million. And again, that moves us to mathematically a 60-40 split for employees at 40% instead of the 50% they've always traditionally been at. And again, it's a kind of a reaction to these hyperinflationary costs of healthcare that our employees are having trouble with. So a concept that is being contemplated. Again, tonight, we're simply submitting articles to the warrant for discussion. Civil service, this is articles that are required as a component of the, and I'm going through a little bit more detail because I'm going to be doing this in a minute, but just to explain everything, the civil service articles here are, I'm anticipating about $750,000. This is a component of the CBA negotiations that came out of the police and fire negotiations at the last round. This would be a $7,500 one-time payment to each firefighter or police officer in order to leave the civil service purview, which would allow us to really have a broader hiring capacity for both of those organizations, which has been hampering our staffing concerns, which exacerbates overtime costs in the town. So while it's going to cost us a little bit of money here, it will ultimately end up saving us money in the short term. So as we get more into that analysis will be fleshed out. Additional Tier 1 capital costs, the Capital Outlay Committee will be making recommendations. We heard Linda's ask tonight for a chiller. That would be part of this. That's anticipated at about $1.8 million. I threw a $2 million number in here. I don't know what Capital Outlay is going to come back and ask for. So I added $200,000 to it. I don't know what they're going to add to it themselves or what they'll recommend or what you'll all want to support. But that's a placeholder. An account deficit cleanup. This is an article that's an accounting cleanup article just over the years from some deficits that occurred back in the early 2000s that need to be righted using fund balance. Then the electronic voting devices. This is an article that would allow us to purchase electronic voting devices if a task force recommends to the select board that it's a good idea to move forward with electronic voting after that effort is made next year, and the select board decided to move forward. We would not expend a penny until the select board determined it was the right thing to do next year after the research is done. All right, so that's just our anticipated use of fund balance. I could walk you through each of these articles if you'd like.
Yeah, so we'll take them one at a time, and then we'll take board discussion, public comment on it. But just for this slide real quick, I want to note something pretty important. That 11 million we're talking about is excess unassigned fund balance. So that's above the 20% required by our fiscal policy. So that's not all of our fund balance. That's the excess.
Exactly. And thank you very much.
Make sure that's clear so people don't panic.
That's exactly right. And Art, leave that up for a second. So the other thing to remember is that this is not straight math. This does not mean that next year's fund balance is going to be, excess fund balance will be $4.2 million. That's not what this says. It says we would be using 7.1 million of this year's 11.3, ostensibly leaving 4.2, except that we have to remember we have turnbacks from this coming budget that will fall into that. We have investment income. We're talking this year about selling some properties that would fall to fund balance. They'll be reserved for capital purchases down the road. And then we actually received some IRS tax credits for some work done at Foster. So all of those will actually boost fund balance. I anticipate it will be in the same ballpark beginning stages next year as it is this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for teaming that up. Let's start with Article I, Building Department.
Article I,
Revolving Fund.
this is one you actually did last week, and I apologize. I put the wrong number in the article. I think I had it at 280. I'm just asking if you don't mind a quick vote to correct that. It should have been 265.
Right. Any questions? Liz?
No
Julie?
questions.
No questions.
Any questions from the public? No problem. Okay, I'll take a motion.
I'll make,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Julie.
okay. I'll make a motion to submit the revised Select Board-sponsored warrant Article I, Building Department Revolving Fund for the 2026 Annual Town Meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Let's move to Article R, transfer of funds to balance certain capital, grant, and other town accounts.
This is that accounting cleanup article I just mentioned.
Julie, any questions?
No questions.
Liz?
No questions.
Any members of the public have any questions? I just want to make sure we can see the Zoom art if we can. Okay, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the Select Board-sponsored warrant Article R, transfer of funds to balance certain capital, grant, and other town accounts for the 2026 Annual Town Meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Move to Article V, which is sale, lease, or conveyance of 86 Central Street. We have Jack Falvey with us. Jack, you're welcome to present at the table, lectern, whatever you're more comfortable doing. All right, great. You're awesome. Great. Just your name and position, Jack, if you don't mind.
Jack Falvey, Chair of the Hingham Affordable Housing Trust. With me is Pam Bates, who's our Vice Chair. We have just a few slides in support of the warrant article that we asked the Select Board to support, whose purpose is to authorize but not require the Select Board to engage in request for proposals process and to provide authority to dispose of the property by sale or lease. Everyone here is familiar with the Lincoln School Apartments. It is a 60-unit affordable rental housing development at the corners of Elm and Central Street. It was developed as affordable housing in 1980, although the original school building segment dates back to 1912, and it's been owned by the town since 2008. It's unanimously, I think, understood to be a highly successful senior affordable housing development valued by the community and key to our meeting both our Section 40B affordability requirements and our affordability goals as a town. As I said, the purpose of the article is to provide authority to the Select Board to dispose of the property after, if it deems it to be in the best interest of the town after a request for proposals process. It would, this disposition, if it occurred, would potentially serve three town goals. First is to preserve and renovate the building with financing provided by an outside party. Second, to meet the town's senior affordability needs as set by the town's master plan through an expansion. And third, to move ownership and oversight of the property from the town to either a private owner or perhaps an entity in which the town remains involved. The article contemplates that there would be an RFP process through which the Select Board would determine of the various proposals that might solicit which would be in the town's interest to pursue. By way of a little more context on the next slide, the LSA needs significant capital improvements. As most people here know, over the next 5 to 10 years, it will cost millions of dollars. We've heard about the expense of HVAC. It needs a new HVAC system. It needs repointing of its building envelope. It needs a lot of repair to its roofing, among many other capital needs. The second point of this effort is to look into the town conveying the property. The town is not an expert affordable housing manager. We are pretty much unique in the state in owning and managing an affordable housing development as a town, as opposed to a housing authority running it. And we'd like to look into whether there's an attractive different ownership model. Another reason for doing that is that a private entity has access to construction funding that is, and other financing that's unavailable to the town as a municipality. And if the property is going to be expanded, it can be done much more efficiently and less expensively by a private developer. Because the town's subject to Section 30B and its prevailing wage standards. Finally, that third goal that would be accomplished by a disposition, if it were approved ultimately, is to provide more affordable housing in town. We, as the Affordable Housing Trust, were given by the master plan a goal of 50 affordable, new affordable housing units over this decade that we're now in the midst of. As Jen Oram just outlined, we've worked hard, and in particular staff has worked very hard. We're on track to maybe create 20 by the end of a decade. So we really do need to do something like this to meet what the master plan tasked us with doing. Finally, we note that this model of conveying schools for affordable housing and have them operated by a private entity as opposed to a town has been repeated in many towns around the state successfully in the last decade or so. The Affordable Housing Trust has voted to support this warrant article in a meeting held last week, and we ask that the proposed warrant article, which is in the final slide, be put on the town warrant. Thank you.
Great. Jack, I know that you've had some outreach sessions with the residents and neighbors. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, we have. In the last couple of weeks, we had a meeting over at Lincoln School in which we provided notice of in advance. We sat with residents, talked about this for about an hour, heard questions and concerns. It was a nice discussion. There were some very legitimate concerns raised about ongoing affordability. As we said at the time, the town, in going through this exercise, is going to be very mindful of ongoing affordability and do what it can to preserve affordability and protect the right, or protect the occupancy of current residents, to the extent that it's possible to do that. And then the next week, so last week we had a similar Zoom conversation, this time rather than live, with neighbors. It went out, the notice went out to 30 or so homes in the area. We had a good discussion of it from a neighborhood perspective. There were concerns raised, as you would expect. And we told both the neighbors and the residents is these are opening discussions. We plan to come back to them and communicate and be mindful of their concerns and include them in any RFP process if the RFP does go forward.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Jack, for the presentation. I want to just note to everybody that the article says authorized but not required the select board, right? So this is really just a first step in what will be a very long process. I know that just speaking for myself, I will not be comfortable with supporting this way down the road unless it's properly socialized, unless we have guarantees that the residents will be, their living situations would be unchanged. So this is just kind of the first step in the process, study it. I do agree with a lot of the sentiment Jack mentioned with respect to the ability to maintain capital costs associated with the building. Liz, do you have any questions or comments?
Well, thank you, Jack, to you and Pam and the entire trust. I know there's a tremendous amount of thought and effort has gone into this process. It's quite complicated and it's a multi-year process. So I appreciate you bringing it forward. It's important for us to have this discussion. We know there are lots of capital needs, and I know the trust and the Lincoln School Board of Managers has the residents' best interests in mind, and I think we're all working hard to make sure that we get to a good solution. As Bill mentioned, to try to guarantee affordability and keep it senior housing. I think those are two goals that are certainly important to me. But I appreciate you bringing this forward. Thank you.
Julie?
Thank you, Jack and Pam and the rest of the Affordable Housing Trust, and to Jennifer and Donna, staff who work so hard on affordable housing and LSA in general, but also on working on this proposal and outreach to the residents at LSA and to the abutters. I was part of the meetings that we had over the last couple of weeks, and so I feel very encouraged that the communication is good around this issue, and that we'll continue to communicate with abutters and residents about this idea.
Great. Any members of the public have any questions or comments? All right, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the Select Board-sponsored warrant article V, sale, lease, or conveyance of 86 Central Street for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Is there a question?
No.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Jack, thanks so much. Pam,
Thank you
thanks
very
for being
much.
here as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is Article X, which is a real estate transfer fee. So Tom, you want to walk us through this?
Sure, this is a little bit of a resurrection of an idea from a couple of years ago. This would allow the town to raise a fee for every real estate transfer that may occur in town. And what the law contemplates is, as it's written currently in the article, is that those funds would first be used to bolster the town's affordable housing stock if needed, meaning that we drop below the town's 10% on the subsidized housing index. And then it could be used after, once you've met that goal, which the town in Hingham has actually met that goal, we would be able to use the funds for undesignated usage across general government as our needs would dictate in any given year. So that's what this article would do.
Great. All right, so this was, we brought this up a couple years ago, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
2022.
2022, thank you, Julie. Julie was the chair of the advisory committee there. Liz and I were on the board, and that was, this was actually, was an idea that came from the Sustainable Budget Task Force. So, you know, we are really trying to discuss ways that we can continue to raise revenue to meet the increasing costs of municipal government that don't involve property tax increases. And this is really one of them. And for those residents out there who email us a lot about affordability, we hear you. And this is a way that we can solve problems going forward. If this was to pass, our need for overrides may never, ever come to fruition. Would you agree with that, Tom?
I would.
8 to 10 other communities in Massachusetts have adopted these. Now, they're still kind of with the legislature, and I know that some of the language of them are going to be worked out through special acts. This would require a special act as well. But this would, a fee of this nature would help quite a bit. Other towns already have it in effect, and they've done some phenomenal work with it, to include Nantucket. I believe Martha's Vineyard might have this as well. I'm not positive of that. And other towns are looking to ways to either use revenue generated from this fee for affordable housing or for general use. And we're going to try to accomplish both. So encourage residents to learn more about this article. I'm certainly interested in the advisory committee's opinion again, as we were last time in 22. But I think it's a great way, as additional articles we're going to talk about tonight, to raise some much needed revenue that don't involve crushing property taxes. So that's my initial thoughts. What do you think, Liz?
So, well, thank you. I'm excited to see this brought up again. I think it's an important discussion for us to have. As we mentioned, it was part of the final report of the Sustainable Budget Task Force in January 31st, 2022. And it was actually input from a citizen that first prompted us to look into it. And the task force then did some research. So just as a little more context, Nantucket did pass a home rule petition and imposed a real estate transaction fee in 1983. They have reported over $50 million in revenue as of 2022. The revenue impact, I think this is one of the tools, one of the recommendations in the report that could actually move the needle for us and make a significant impact. So the revenue, if you look at the Sustainable Budget Task Force report, it's probably worth going back and read it. It's page 52 and 53, just to get some context. Most of the things are the same in terms of the benchmark comparison, other communities that are pursuing this, and what our impact would be. What has changed is the average assessed value of a single-family house has gone up considerably in Hingham since 2022, as well as the average sale price. So again, I think this is something that is definitely worth more discussion and deliberation. So I invite people to learn about it, get educated about it, and please participate in our meetings going forward.
I would also note the fee would exempt houses under, is it 700,000? So we do take in affordability with the proposed article.
Yeah.
It also does have an affordable housing component written into it. And the cost of the fee is borne by the buyer. Okay, that's the buyer, not the seller. So the fee is the cost of it is borne by the buyer. And those numbers that we could bring in with this would be staggering. Like you said, Nantucket is 50 million. This would help quite a bit with increasing costs with not having to have overrides, in my opinion. So, all right, Julie, any costs? Any concerns?
I echo the need to raise revenue and find creative ways and to keep looking at the sustainability task force final report from years ago and their ongoing work now to look into ways to raise revenue and lessen the burden on our taxpayers. And I'm looking forward to the discussion about this article. I think it's going to be a good discussion among ourselves, but also with the advisory committee. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any members of the public have any questions or comments about this agenda item? Diane, go ahead.
Hi, Diane Annapolis, 16 Gardner. I'm sorry, Bill, my question was actually on the last article, so I'll wait till the end if you'd like.
Okay, sure, yep.
Thanks.
Anyone else? All right, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the select board sponsored warrant article X real estate transfer fee for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. That takes us to Article Y, which is the sale of 8 Short Street.
Self-explanatory. This would allow the town to issue or enter a disposition of the property at 8 Short Street. This is the former DPW barn from many years ago. It is now unoccupied and is in an area that we feel has some value from a real estate standpoint, and we're hoping would be able to provide us with some much needed capital for much needed funds for capital expenditures down the road.
Great. So one of the goals of the select board for this year was to look at ways to raise additional revenue that don't involve property taxes, as we talked about, but we specifically talked about the sale of unused town buildings. So this is one of 2 buildings we're going to recommend to be sold. It's not being used. There is interest from the community and personally purchasing it. It does have historical significance. I believe there's a historical preservation easement that's going to ride with the building or the sale of the building. So the historical significance of the building, at least the way it looks, would be preserved with a sale transfer. So I think it's a great way to raise some revenue. Again, we're not using it. DPW has not cited a need for it, and very supportive of moving forward with this. Julie, any comments?
No, I just want to reiterate that the past tenant who was using that space is no longer a tenant in that building. So no other questions or comments.
Liz?
I'll just make a comment. This was also a recommendation of the Sustainable Budget Task Force. And so it's exciting to see this move forward. And there is a preservation restriction as part of the article.
I believe the preservation restriction would be entered into should the town, we don't need it on us, but should the town sell it, it would be subject to the, getting a preservation restriction that would be in perpetuity. So whoever buys it would be subject to that.
I believe that's because CPC invested money in it.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's right. Okay, great. Any members of the public have any questions or comments? All right, Diane, go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry, Bill. Again, I'm holding. I don't know why it keeps coming up. So sorry.
No problem. Okay. All right.
There's one more, Hillary Hosmer.
All right, Hillary Hosmer, go ahead. Hillary, do you have a question?
I do. How big is this building?
Could you state your name and address?
Can you say your name and address, please?
Hillary Hosmer, 204 Linden Ponds Way. How large is this former DPW building?
Do you know the square footage?
I
John?
don't off the top of my head. I can find out. It's, in essence, it looks a lot like a single-family home size structure. This was a DPW barn when it was, probably, Bill, 70 years ago?
Yeah, 70 years ago. I went to
A long time ago when we were a smaller organization. So it's a smaller building than you would think of as a DPW barn. But I don't have the square footage. I can find it for you, Hillary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. All right. All right, with that, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the Select Board-sponsored warrant article Y. Is it Y?
Yes.
This is T, okay, Y.
Yeah.
Sale of 8 Short Street for 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. That takes us to Article Z, which is the sale of 230 North Street.
So this is another property disposition. The town would enter into the sale of the old North Fire Station, the old Torrent Station on North Street. This, now that it's been vacated by the fire department, this property would be available for sale if this article were to pass.
Great. This is another property we've received some interest in. We've received interest at least from 3 or 4 residents. So another, obviously that fire station is closed, no longer being used. And it's could be an opportunity to raise some additional revenue. Julie, any comments?
Nope.
Liz?
No comments.
Any members of the public? Okay, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the Select Board-sponsored warrant Article Z, sale of 230 North Street for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Takes us to Article AA, which is transfer from the capital cost and debt service stabilization fund.
Sorry. Just 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. It's double A.
Julie, help me. I'm blanking. I don't know why I'm blanking.
This is the foster school and the
This is the,
funds.
yeah, the
going to
Foster's, it's a Foster School funds?
Yeah, it's just disposition and the, we have the schedule each year and the 5-year forecast.
So it's the use, I'm sorry, it's the use of the forecasted revenue.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Yeah,
this weird.
it's the use of this forecasted revenue for the capital stabilization fund.
Yeah.
Right, for the original that's right, I call it the $7 million article, sorry. This was named by Michelle Monsker, our former ATA Finance, and I could never remember how she came to that name. Anyway, I apologize. We had designated $7 million 2 years ago when we created this article to use over the course of the first 4 years to offset the tax impact of the spike years in the initial debt service of those 2 projects of public safety and Foster. And this is this year's allocation amount. We anticipate it being in about $2.1 million range.
Great, thank you. Liz, any questions?
No questions. But we had planned on 7 million.
Yes,
And to use it over a certain number of years. So we're just following through with that plan
exactly.
to reduce the tax impact.
Julie?
No questions.
Any members of the public have any questions? All right, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the Select Board-sponsored warrant Article AA, transfer from the capital cost and debt service stabilization fund for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Brings us to Article CC, which is Civil Service Fire.
Sure, this is the first of 2 articles we'll need to extricate the fire service for this article. The next article will be the police department from the civil service program at the state. And that will allow us, again, to have significant more freedom in our hiring practices that will help bolster their vacancy numbers by, fix those vacancy numbers, which therefore drives down our overtime costs where we're paying people time and a half to fill minimum staffing requirements.
And this was birthed from the negotiations, correct?
Yes, this is a result of the CBA negotiations led by the Personnel Board and my office staff that the board has approved the MOAs of, and maybe even the CBA, and one of them, the CBA is pending, but those negotiations resulted in the desire of both the union and the town to withdraw ourselves from the civil service program, and these articles are the result of that. Will result in a $7,500 payment, one-time payment per firefighter and police officer. We have about 100. We have to work through the details about who will qualify and when, so it'll be plus or minus a few, but about 100 firefighters and police officers in Hingham. So I'm anticipating this article costing the town out of fund balance in approximately $750,000.
Great. Julie, any questions?
No questions.
Liz?
No questions, but just to use less acronyms and maybe make it a little simpler for people to understand.
Which one?
Just CBA. So this
Oh,
is the
sorry.
collective
Collective
bargaining
bargaining agreement.
agreements with our police and fire unions, which they have agreed to this. This is a necessary step to leave civil service. It has to be voted on by town meeting.
Yes.
Yep. Good. You want anything, Jay? Or Lynn? Yeah. Come on up. Yeah, sure, come on up, yeah.
Come up first.
Tom did a great job, as always, describing where we are and why we have these articles in front of you. The only thing I would add would be this wording, we haven't yet had an opportunity to fully review at the Personnel Board. So the only thing I would say would be if we can use this perhaps as a placeholder in terms of, we think this is what it's going to look like, but there may be some last minute adjustments that we suggest because those discussions get very lengthy, involved. We want to make sure that we're not missing something. So just want to check on the wording. This is Tom and our town attorney, looking at it in great detail. We have a lot of confidence that we're not going to be making significant suggestions, maybe no suggestions on it, but I just want to put it on the table that we just need to have an opportunity. We don't meet for a couple of weeks as a personnel board, but at that point, we'd be able to vote on this, and if we had some adjustments, we could always bring them back to you, but the substance of what Tom is suggesting is what we would probably be in agreement with.
Great, Jack, thank you.
Of course.
Great. Members of the public have any questions or comments? All right, with that, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the select board sponsored warrant article CC Civil Service Fire for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to Article DD.
The exact same explanation.
Anything, Jack?
Same comment on this one.
Okay,
Police, we have 2 units. Fire, we have 1.
yeah, thank you.
Just to clarify, there are 2 units in the police department, but we've talked about it with the legal team. We'll need 1 article for the police just because that's how they came into civil service in the 40s. And if we're going to take them out now, it needs to be a consistent vote. But there are 2 units per the collective bargaining agreement. And but we would do this with 1 article.
Great. All right. Liz, any questions?
No questions.
Julie?
No questions.
Any members of the public have any questions or comments? All right, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the select board sponsored warrant article DD Civil Service Police for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm also an aye, motion carries unanimously. Brings us to Article FF, which is the transfer of funds for employee healthcare cost subsidy. So, Tom, we can start us off, and I'll turn to the personnel board members.
Sure. So this is a conversation, again, that is the result of a healthcare task force consisting of myself, Art Robert on my staff, and then we had Liz Klein as a member of the select board and Lynn Carroll as a member of the personnel board to walk us through or walk through some of the realities of Hingham's healthcare needs. And we did a lot of research. We had a consultant come in that helped us take a look at our overall picture, our costs, our numbers, our insured numbers, where this is trending, et cetera. There was a series of an offshoot from those conversations, one issue of which was this resulted in this article. So The idea of this article is to have a sum of money, about $1.35 million, be taken from fund balance and applied to the employee's share of healthcare costs. That's an amount equal to about 10% of the current employees, plus a few in case more people come in if we're 60/40 for that year. So plus a few to offset those people's costs to bring it up to down to 40% in the town's share for that 1 year, up to 60%. I want to be clear that we are still a 50-50 community if this passes. This is a 1-year subsidy that would be allowed by the town to bridge a gap until as we start from a community standpoint, having a more in-depth conversation about the MOU, meaning the 3.5% cap and what that all looks like and when an override may or may not be needed again. We want to try to get to that point. And we've been hearing from our employees, both on the town and the schools, about the crippling nature of these healthcare cost increases. We all see it everywhere. And at 50-50, Hingham is the lowest, is funding healthcare at the lowest amount allowed by law. We're not alone in that. Other towns do that as well. But we're trying to find a way to recognize the impact to the employees, and this would solve some of that for one year only. To be perfectly clear, I'll be stressing that when I speak with people about this, but it would be a 1-year fix only, unless it's re-upped next year or it gets incorporated into the budget somehow, i.e. via an override.
Lynn, do you want anything?
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.
Based on individual discussions with the personnel board members, they are directionally supportive of the warrant article, similar to what Jack mentioned relative to civil service. They'll want the opportunity to discuss it more fully at our next meeting on February 12th and continue to engage with stakeholders. One question that arose from those discussions late today was whether or not the last phrase in this article is positioned or act on anything relating thereto provides enough flexibility to the select board if anything comes out of the stakeholder discussions as they happen, over the course of the next several weeks.
So if you're looking for an answer for that, I do have John Coughlin joined the meeting. John is here and Kevin Feely as well. They might be able to help answer that question if necessary, if you want, Bill.
John, what are your thoughts on that? I think you're going to say as long as the scope doesn't change, we're good, but let me get your thoughts on it. Is he there?
I saw Kevin's on there.
Yeah, Kevin's on.
We got Kevin. Kevin, going to turn it over to you.
John was there earlier.
He was there earlier.
I'm here. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Kevin, if you could just state your name and position with the town, that'd be great.
There he is.
Thank you. Will do. This is Kevin Feely, Labor Council for the town of Hingham.
Did you hear Lynn's question, Kevin?
Yeah. Yes, I did, and it is a very good question. And I would say that this article would give us flexibility, but not the flexibility to do anything greater than what is included in the article. So I think we would not be able to do anything more than up to the 60% contribution in for FY27 only. If there were other thoughts that were within the four corners of this article, then I think on a case-by-case basis we could see if this article would be enough to allow town meeting to vote on that.
Does that address your concern?
I think so.
I think so.
I think
John is there. He might be able to.
John, how about John? What are your thoughts on that? Do we need to change the language now, or are you okay waiting?
Yeah, can you hear me now, Bill?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, sorry, I think I was muted out. I couldn't get in. I'm comfortable with the way the article is drafted. Now, Bill, I agree with Kevin. I mean, I think the warrant article contemplates FY27 only, contemplates up to 60%, but that standard language of act on anything related thereto opens the door for advisory to make its motion within the scope of this article. So, I think I would recommend leaving it as is, and then let AdCom figure out the details later.
Okay, thank you. And Karen, do you want to add anything?
Thanks, Bill. Karen Johnson, 16 Berkeley Circle, and a member of the Personnel Board. Thanks for recognizing me. This is always one of those tricky questions because you're trying to anticipate what might be. I think one of my questions is there were several alternatives on the table, including this one, to address, as Tom has articulated over the course of this evening, and as we all feel in our daily lives, the incredible crunch of healthcare costs, and the town has been committed, the select board's been committed to trying to address that issue. But I think that, as I understood your introduction tonight, the insertion of these warrant articles was meant to be a procedural function by the board and not a judgment, a substantive judgment on a particular outcome potentially. So I guess I'm wondering, the way I read this article, to be honest, it's narrowly crafted at a particular direction, and I think potentially limits the creativity of AdCom for saying, well, maybe we want to do a 60% subsidy, but maybe we want to add a wellness benefit, or maybe we want to craft this differently. So I guess I'm wondering, I'm wondering about your reaction to that, or John's reaction to that, and I would hate to tie the hands of particularly the AdCom analysis, at this procedural stage of the warrant.
John, I'm going to defer to you. What do you think? I mean, that's a valid concern raised by Karen. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I hear it. And I wasn't in the room on a lot of this. I was asked to draft the warrant article in this direction, but I think, this is clearly an article to fund up to 60% of healthcare premium. So if we want to talk about giving other benefits in addition to that, that I didn't contemplate in this article. So I don't know how broad you want to go, but at some point you got to kind of set a limit around what's on the table. We can try to amend this if people have multiple ideas, but I'm not sure a warrant article saying, advisory can, give any benefit it deems appropriate. That's a little too broad too. So we got to find a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, I guess, and I don't mean to speak out of order, but I guess my reaction is, since there have been no substantive discussions by stakeholders with respect to healthcare subsidies or approaches to healthcare support by the town, this to me picks a very particular path and would require an up or down around, potentially around the edges fix, but definitely an up or down vote on this. And if that's what the select board has chosen, okay, but certainly the personnel board has not been in a position to deliberate or understand. I think the potentials for at least the three options that I understand had been part of the discussions.
So can I add something, Bill?
Yeah.
You mind? So part of the rollout that I'm intending with I'm meeting with the unions at the end of January in essence is an informal PEC meeting, a Public Employees Commission meeting. It's a formal term, and they get specific people that are invited to that. I'll be meeting with them, and I'll be rolling out some ideas that the Healthcare Task Force also came up with that do include things like wellness plans and how to fund those that don't include fund balance and municipal tax base. So there's a package that would be rolled out. This article contemplates the component that the task force identified as coming from the tax base. Right? So this is the article. This is the funds. This is the only anticipated use of tax-based funds is this article. There are other benefits that we're contemplating that would be funded through other means.
Okay, Jack, do you want to add something?
I do. It's along the lines of what Karen was speaking to. We haven't met as a board, a personnel board, to talk about the specific wording here. Our understanding was that there were really three options: do nothing, do the stipend, if you will, to cover the 50 to going, moving it up to 60, and taking that out of unassigned funds to cover a year, or do something more permanent, like do 60-40, just take it and do it and make it permanent. Our difficulty, my difficulty in particular with this article, the way it's written, is it does, as Karen said, it moves us in the direction of just one of those options. That committee doesn't meet until the 28th. And our understanding at the Personnel Board was, why sit and talk about this if the stakeholders haven't even voted on it and agreed that this is the right way to go, meaning the one-time hit to unassigned revenue. So you're being asked to vote on something where the stakeholders haven't really voiced their opinion with the vigor and robust conversation that something like this, I think, is going to result in. So if it's written in such a way that we can only go in one direction, that we have to assume the 10% fix, use unassigned funds to do it, and all the other options are off the table, it seems that it's locking us in at this point without having an opportunity to hear the entire, I think it's called PEC.
The PEC, the Public Employees Commission.
Yeah, I mean, the stakeholders should have an opportunity to at least say, I would do something else, and we can vote against it if that's what's decided at that committee level. But we're voting on something that I don't think has had the full airing that I think a subject like this deserves. And if we want to do a placeholder, I think without canvassing the board, I think many of us would be in favor of making sure we get something in the warrant. The wording, though, I think should at least allow for the final conclusion of that PEC committee to say, yeah, we like it, we like the idea, and we're all in favor of it. I'm wondering if perhaps the article can be written in such a way that it gives us the ability to perhaps pivot to another option.
So, Bill, can I make one more comment?
Yeah, sure.
One of the things that I have to look at as part of my job is affordability. That's an important piece of what I do. What we have come up with as a task force and what I'm recommending that the board consider putting on the warrant is a sizing an article in a manner similar to all the rest of the anticipated use of fund balance that I spoke of at the beginning of this discussion. We do that on a regular basis. We size articles. I was not anticipating, frankly, without having the meeting on the 28th with the informal discussion on the 28th with the PEC before then, but I was not anticipating a negotiation. This is an offer of help. We're identifying this as a problem that our employees are suffering through, and this is a solution that the town can afford in our estimation, in my estimation, and the task force's estimation. I think that to suggest that a negotiation could result in different splits, for instance, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, that's going to be something that the employees are going to want. But we have to couch what they want against what we can afford. And that's my job, is to propose to the town what I think we can safely afford, which is why I landed on this number. I did speak with a number of stakeholders in terms of the school department, myself, obviously, the task force members, and this is what we came up with. I would be leery, Jack, to open the door wide open in terms of how we can size this, because you're talking about using fund balance, which is a resource that is guarded when it comes to use for things like this. And we got to be cautious. But that's my opinion.
One second. I mean, so the issue is this, so the deadline for the warrant is tonight. So if we didn't act on the article tonight, we'd have to reopen the warrant. So us voting to put it on the warrant, it's still going to have advisory discussion. Obviously, the personnel board can dive into a little more. But, I mean, I do want to do something in this area, and I think we put it on the warrant. Obviously, it's going to go to the advisory committee for discussion. You all can continue to talk about it. But if we don't put it on tonight, it means we have to reopen the warrant. We have done that in the past. We're trying to get away from that this year. I don't know, what do you all think? Liz, what do you think?
I know this is an issue for our employees. We've heard it over and over. We, as a select board, committed to analyzing this, and we have done that work. I was honored to be part of that working group, certainly learned a lot from the other members of the group. We worked with a consultant who is an expert in this field. This is obviously an interim solution. This is not a long-term solution. This is not the end of the discussion. This is the first step, in my opinion, of this process of trying to help alleviate this healthcare challenge for our employees. We are up against the deadline of midnight. So I would like to include it, knowing that we will continue to discuss, deliberate, certainly want the personnel board's expertise, as well as AdCom to weigh in and give a recommendation. But I think it would be a step backwards not to include in this year's warrant.
Julie, what do you think?
I would like to include this in the warrant, and I look forward to discussing this issue with all the stakeholders. It'll be a good discussion across many committees.
Yeah, I think, I'm also committed to improving healthcare. I think it would help in negotiations, not only with upcoming negotiations, but I think, Jack, you've mentioned in the past to me that the way we match up against other towns is that we're dead last. And that's just not acceptable. So we got to move the needle a little bit. This is a creative way to do it. Use of fund balance isn't the best way to do it because it's one-time use. It's not really, doesn't become a budget item. It has to be continued again and ultimately probably discussed through an override, as Tom said. But I think my commitment to trying to improve healthcare would override concerns tonight. So, but I'm gonna take a public comment. So, Mrs. Eddy, come on up.
I hear you.
It's heavy snow.
Hi, I'm Sue Letitia Eddy. I've been an employee of the town for over 30 years, and this is a huge, huge issue for employees. I think Tom recently mentioned GIC is probably going up 12 to 15%. If we get a 3% cost of living raise, let me tell you, it's gonna do nothing. A couple of years ago, same thing happened, and when I figured out what I got for a raise, it was $8 a week. The region we live in, it doesn't do much. So I think we need to move forward. I think it's a step in the right direction. I do have a question on the study that's been done. Is that information available to the public, number one? And if this should go forward and pass, is it going to continue to be discussed, which it sounds like it is, because it really is a big issue. We've lost a number of good employees, I can't tell you, in the last number of years, because we don't pay enough, unfortunately, and our benefits are at the bottom, as you just said. We are the lowest of the 19 towns. We like to say we want to be at 51%. Well, we're not. We're at 0 at this point. So I appreciate all your hard work and all of this, and just want to know that it's going to continue to move forward. Sorry.
And I can make that data available to you. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have another comment, Bill.
Hold on, Karen. Come on, Karen.
Yep.
Thank you. Jen Benham, 300 Gardner Street, I'm Chair of the School Committee. Just want to say that I support this. I see this as a step forward in decreasing the burden on the employees for 1 year, as you pointed out. And also that it demonstrates a collaborative step forward and in a unified approach as we move forward. And I appreciate your efforts, and I look forward to future discussions as this process moves forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, I'm all set, Bill. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All right. We're comfortable moving forward. Don't double check. Liz?
Yes.
All right. I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to submit the select board sponsored warrant article FF, transfer for employee healthcare cost subsidy for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks for your help, Jack. And thanks for being
Tom,
here.
thanks for all the help. Thank you,
Thanks for
everybody.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Next item on the agenda is Article LL, which is electronic voting devices. Tom, you want to take us on this one?
Sure. This is an attempt at saving the town a year. So the town will will stand up a task force to evaluate the appropriateness of using electronic voting devices at town meeting. That work will begin in the near future and will last about a year. And we'll report back out to myself and the select board their findings. And we're still working on that task force, but once that gets going, they'll report out to us their findings. And what this article does is allows us this year to get authorization to use up to $100,000 to fund a solution for electronic voting devices if that task force comes back and recommends it. And again, it would only ever be spent at the behest of the select board. We would work with the moderator to understand the scope of what is being contemplated. And, again, it saves us a year. If we don't do this now and the task force comes back and asks or recommends that that we use electronic voting going forward, we would then have to ask for that town meeting next year for money to buy the devices, then over the following year, buy the devices, and then have it ready for 2 years from now. So this is just an effort that's saving a year should it come back as a positive recommendation. We would not spend any money if it didn't.
Great. I know there's a lot of interest in this issue, so I think it's good to move forward. We've got a lot of emails about it, and I think it's good to study it and look at it and start the process forward. So Liz, anything?
Agree. I think this makes sense to include in this warrant, and just to reiterate what Tom said, we would not have electronic voting at this April 2026 town meeting, but this would potentially enable us to have it for 2027, depending on the results of the task force. So I am excited to see this move forward. I think this is the direction we should be going.
Julie?
I'm very much in favor of bringing electronic voting to the town of Hingham, and I think the time has come. But in order to do that, we do have to fund a future expense towards that end. And so as the details work out in the coming 6 to 12 months, then we'll be ready for town meeting 2027. So I look forward to working out those details and bringing something good for the voters to town meeting.
Anybody have any questions or comments about this agenda item? All right, seeing none, I take a motion.
I make a motion to submit the Select Board-sponsored warrant article LL, electronic voting devices, for the 2026 annual town meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, Julie?
Aye.
Liz?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. Diane, did you want to add something to the articles we discussed tonight? Oh, her hand's down. Okay, all right. Moving on to next item on the agenda is appointments. I have two nominees to be appointed tonight. I would make a motion to appoint Linda Luke to the Cultural Council for a term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries unanimously. I'd make a motion to appoint Jeffrey Kukish to the 4th of July Parade Committee for a term ending December 31st, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Motion carries unanimously. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Does anyone have any public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'd move to Town Administrator Select Board reports. Art, anything to report out tonight?
Not this evening, thank you.
Tom?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Julie?
No. Thank you.
Liz?
Nothing to add.
Only thing I have tonight is tomorrow night I'm going to be attending the Hingham High School Wrestling Veterans Appreciation Night. Really appreciate the boosters and the team for doing that. It's tomorrow night, I believe, at 4:45 at the high school. And with that, I take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, Liz?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
We recognize that taking time to visit, call, or email our town departments to report issues in Hingham doesn't always fit your schedule. Are you looking for an easier way to communicate with the town? Well, now there's an easier way. With the My Hingham mobile app, you can submit service requests or gain information with just a few taps of your phone. To get started, simply download the My Hingham app from the Apple App Store or Google Play, or simply scan our QR code to get the access to the app that's best for your phone. Once you've opened the app, select the Submit a Service Request button. From there, you can choose the type of request you want to submit, whether it's a pothole, a fallen tree, or something else. You'll then be prompted to take a photo of the issue and provide a brief description. You can also use the app to track the status of your issue and receive updates. Using My Hingham puts immediate access to town resources in the palm of your hand, including calendars of meetings and events, agendas for upcoming meetings, building permit filing options, online bill payment options, information about our boards, committees, departments, and services. So why wait? Download the My Hingham app today and report issues and get information on town government with ease.